Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting, family communications, and relationship development all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about proven strategies for increasing love for others. I think that most people love the people that they're around. I very rarely meet people who are just grumpy and not enjoying anybody's company all the time. Usually people have others that they care about, but it is possible to fall out of love, to be annoyed by those people. It is possible to have a relationship that could use a little bit more love. In fact, in this day and age, when so many people are fighting about so many things, I think we need to remember the power that comes in true love. So in this video, I'm going to talk about love and what that really means and how we can practice increasing love for other people. Love is something deep. It's not just a romantic thing. In fact, it really bothers me that the word love has just been equated to romance or attraction. I could be attracted to a bar of chocolate. That's not love. I can even say I love chocolate, but at the end of the day, my relationship with chocolate is nowhere near the same as my relationship and love with my child, or my relationship and love with my spouse, or my parent, or my friend, or my neighbor. That's where we really need to be working on having love. And it's not just that that person pleases you. I think some people think that love is when another person pleases you. That's not right. Even if my husband doesn't please me, I love him. Even if he says something that I wish he wouldn't say, I love him. True love is not that transient. So if I don't agree with him about something, that doesn't mean I don't love him. In fact, I think our society has that a little off. I think that we are promoting the idea that if a person agrees with you, then they care about you and love you. But if they don't agree with you, then they don't care about you and love you. Is that like kindergarten? Well, if you don't play my way, then I'm not going to play with you. I'm going to go home with my ball, right? I mean, what are we doing? That is not love. So let's talk about real love, the deep love, the kind where we value the person even if the person is having struggles, even if the person has hurt us. We have a bond and a connection to that person that we can't deny, that we don't want to get rid of, and that we want to foster and make as healthy and wonderful as possible. When you have a duty toward another person, that's love. Real love. That's what a parent understands that many people don't understand. When your child does something, they could leave your faith. They could leave the principles and morals that you know. They could say, you don't love me because you don't agree with me. But the parent inside has this duty to love that will never go away. They will keep loving and loving and loving unless they're immature and selfish. But most parents will keep that love so strong. And the child can tell them they don't love them, but inside the parent's heart is breaking and calling out to that child again and again. That is true, deep, long-lasting, enduring love. And that is something that many parents, most parents have for their children, no matter what choice a child makes, which is powerful. So let's talk about how to increase our love for other people if we're struggling. Because I know some people find themselves wanting that kind of love, but for whatever reason, they're struggling with it. Or they want to help somebody else develop that kind of love. Let's talk about some things that you can do. So years ago, when I did treatment foster care, I had to practice loving people all the time. People that weren't necessarily my family initially. They would come into my home with a myriad of problems, and I knew I could not help them have a change of heart and learn self-government and freedom for their lives unless I felt love for them. Sometimes they annoyed me. Sometimes I did not like some of the things I had to do. There was one girl that came to my home, and she was a diagnosed kleptomaniac with compulsive lying and anger control issues, which means she would steal things habitually, and then she would lie about them. And if she was caught, she would get mad, very mad. This was a bad cycle to be stuck in every single day, oftentimes multiple times a day. What I had to do is I had to prepare to teach her by fostering more love for this foster daughter. So she was going to come home every day at 4 p.m. So every day at 3:45 p.m., I went to my room and I prayed to love her. I prayed. I thought, God has love for her. Surely he does. He needs to give me some of that. And so I asked him for that. And I did not stop praying until I felt love for her, which was right around 4 o'clock. And then she would walk in the door. We would have to do body checks and the whole thing and figure out where everything came from and work through it again and again. But because my love for her had increased in that 15-minute time period before she got home from school, I was able to have patience and understanding and endure this behavioral problem with her until we could conquer it a little bit more. And by the way, we did make some good progress on the behavior because of my ability to have patience with her and not take this behavior personally. So when you take someone's behavior personally, you start to fall out of love with them, which means one of the key things that we need to do is not take other people's behavior personally. We also need to make sure that we recognize our gauge of love for that person on the inside. So how do we feel about that person? Do we value them? Do we feel like we want the best for them no matter what has happened or what was said? Do we feel a duty to serve them and love them even if their life isn't perfect and they're acting mean? Then that is when you know you truly do love someone. It's in the hard times that you learn it. It's when there's a loss, when there's a struggle, when there's something to go through. That's when you see who's really there for you. And that's when you really are there for other people. That's when the love really comes out and surfaces and becomes very, very obvious, even though it was there before. One of the most important things that you can do is plan to love them. Just like I planned to love my foster daughter when she would come home from school, I made a plan. I prepared to love her before she got there. And when I saw a problem, I fixed the problem within myself. Instead of blaming her and saying she was hard to love, she was awful, she didn't appreciate me, instead of making it about me and what she should be doing for me, I instead kept looking at what she needed and who I was to her, which brings me to the concept of roles. You've got to understand who you are to the other person. If you're their teacher, if you're their mentor, their nurturer, then you've got to keep teaching, nurturing, mentoring, guiding, leading that person. They need that. They rely upon it even if they are not behaving well to you. I know people can burn bridges. It happens all the time, but you don't have to allow a person to burn a bridge. You don't have to allow them to abuse you either, but that doesn't mean you have to fall out of love with them. I have some more things to tell you about that can really help you increase love for another person, but before I do, click that subscribe button now. Everything on this channel is meant to help increase love and connection and family unity for you, to improve your relationships and increase your personal freedom through self-government. You're not going to want to miss it. There are principles and skills that truly can be life-changing for you. So click subscribe now. And don't forget that notification bell too, because when you click that, then you'll be notified when the new videos come out. In order to fall more in love, you have to catch yourself falling out of love. So once you've identified what it feels like to love that person, remember that feeling. And if you feel yourself pulling away from that feeling at all, catch yourself, bring yourself back on track. Whether you have to pray like me or sing songs or make a gratitude list about the person, whatever it is, find a way to fall back in love with that person. While I was praying for my foster daughter, in fact, for all my children, I've always prayed that I would see them as God saw them, that I would be able to see their potential, that I would be able to see their value, their beauty. And I knew that if I could see them as He saw them, then I would be able to better appreciate their needs. I would be able to do the teaching with more of an open heart. So try to see them as our Creator sees them. Don't think about yourself so much. That's probably one of the biggest things that I could tell you is it's not about you, it's about what they need. So remember, don't keep thinking about yourself and how you feel and what they said to you and how they should do such and such for you. Get rid of those ideas, drop the subject. Basically, those are no answers that you have to accept. And if you're familiar with some of the teaching self-government skills, you know one of our 4 basic skills is accepting a no answer, which means that when something happens that you can't control or doesn't go your way, then look at the situation or the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body about it. Either say okay or disagree appropriately, and then drop the subject. Discuss often with your child, with whoever it is that seems like they're hard to love. Have good open discussions often. even if they don't want to at first, because they might not want to, even if you don't want to at first. You've got to break down the walls. If you're really going to increase your love for another person, you got to get to know them better. You've got to talk to them about what's going on, appreciate it. That doesn't mean you have to agree with them, okay? There's principle and there's practice. If they are doing something in their practice that does not match principle, you do not have to agree with it. However, you can still listen. You can understand. You can talk to them about that thing and other things. That's important to do. You've got to preserve the relationship by having things in common. Do things together, plan outings and trips. Have opportunities to have experiences that you'll have memories based around so that you always can have a relationship to rely on. When you don't agree with a person, disagree appropriately. Disagreeing appropriately is another one of our 4 basic skills. When a person learns to disagree appropriately, they look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say that they understand the other person's point of view, share their point of view, listen to what the other person has to say okay, and drop the subject. When you're having discussions with each other, have a disagree appropriately mindset. Now, ultimately, if you have parental authority over this person that you're trying to increase your love for, you still have to maintain your parental authority. You can't let their hearts and minds just wander away from the family. That hurts them and it hurts you. It hurts everyone. So you need to try to help maintain the bond, invite them back in, have them have responsibilities for doing things with the family. And you know what? Over time, people soften. So don't worry about the fact that they might hate it at first. You're not going to get someone to love a connection with you unless it's totally selfish and they're extorting you in some way. That's what a narcissist does. So be careful about that. Just keep loving, keep inviting, and make sure that you disagree appropriately whenever possible. If you've enjoyed this video, I have a gift for you. It's a free gift. It's called a Calm Parenting Toolkit. In the description below this video, there's a link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. If you click on that link right now, you can have that Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. There are 10 tools in that toolkit that you are going to want to use to help improve your calmness and your connection to other people. If you can learn how to keep yourself calm when someone else isn't, and how to help someone get calm without losing your calmness at the same time, then you can act in love when you are having one of those hard moments. I know you love your family members, you love whoever it is that you're thinking about today, or you wouldn't be on this video. So learn the skills that you need to communicate with more love so that you can preserve that relationship and help it heal. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.